Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In case you are new here, my name is Sarah. I am an artist. I am the owner of Denim and Rain, where I sell my little fiber notions and other oddball things. I also really enjoy knitting and sharing that here on YouTube with you. Okay, I think first I want to start off with a little bit of businessy type things. Like I said at the beginning, I own Denim and Rain, and I sell fiber notions and other things. Well, Friday, which would have been yesterday, but my tomorrow, I am having a button restock. Now, as of today, when you're watching, I'm not sure there will be any left, but just in case, go check it out. The link will be down below in the description box. But I have some buttons I'm going to be putting out, and also I have a collection coming out in April that I am so beyond excited for. It is like Imagination Beyond Space theme, and it is very spacey and imagination-y and just so good. I'm very excited about it. So if you are not, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter via my website down in the description box to sign up for that. And I only send out emails usually before restock. Not every time, because sometimes I forget, but I usually send those out. And again, not always, but a good amount of the time, I also have a discount code for my newsletter subscribers. So that's all the businessy stuff. I do have a little mini life update that I'm just going to give at the top of the video. I will talk about it maybe a little bit more at the end, but I just want to put it out there, so if I'm mentioning something, you know what I'm talking about. But last month in February, I lost my mom. So some of these projects, I may mention little things about it in case I bring it up. That is what I'm talking about. That is also why I have not had a video in a hot minute, but that's okay. We had life and I needed a break. But now I'm kind of easing back into work and all the things, so I thought I'd share my projects. And I will start with what I am wearing. I am wearing my finished fuzzy black sweater. This is not following any pattern. If you're new here, I like to make up patterns as I go. I usually draft out beforehand some math. That way I'm not going in completely blind. Like I'll make a little swatch and measure and yeah, that stuff. But it is knit using Holst Garn Cotton Wool Blend. And I'm holding it with, well, I'm holding that double, and then I held Drops Alpaca Silk with it. I knit this at a really big gauge. I have this on backwards. I just realized I put this on backwards. Which makes me very happy knowing I put it on backwards, because I've been sitting here going like, oh, it's choking me. I thought I did a good enough job on short rows. I did. That is so much better. Oh my gosh. Okay, I again was having a brief like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can wear this sweater. I have to give this away. It's very nice. It fits so much better now. I had briefly taken it off to try something else on, and then I just like grabbed it and threw it back on. Wasn't even paying attention. I need to put in like a little color yarn to the neck so when I'm in a hurry, I notice that I'm putting on a sweater backwards. Anyhow, I knit this at a very large gauge. Don't ask me my gauge, because I really don't feel like attempting to measure this fuzzy black yarn. Like, I don't think there's any worse. No, I think probably a boucle or faux fur yarn would be worse at trying to measure gauge. But this is, yeah, pretty close to hitting there. It's very fuzzy and very dark, and yeah, but I knit it on 8mm needles. That's a big needle. I haven't knit anything on a needle that big in a very long time, but the idea was to knit something up loose gauge, something that would knit up really quick, something that would be very sweatshirty like, which I think I achieved. I've been wearing it all day and I love it so very, very much. And it's black. I love black. So we're hitting all the right things. So, okay, the plan was for it to be quick. Anyways, I cast it on in December or November, somewhere in there. I can't really exactly remember, but I know November, December, and was thinking I had a thought of finishing it before Christmas. Obviously it is March. That did not happen. And I did just finish this and block it a couple of days ago. So yeah, a sweater that was at an incredibly loose gauge took me 4 months. I knit the body portion with the alpaca, and then on the cuffs and the neck and the hem, I removed the alpaca and just had the cotton wool. That way the fuzzy fluff wasn't like on the cuffs and neck and stuff. I didn't want that, like the fuzzies like near my hands where I'm like doing stuff, that sort of thing. I don't know, it was a choice. Plus I like the idea of a slight contrast and a little bit of difference in interest, which of course is black, and you probably can't tell, but I can tell. So anyways, yeah, no pattern, but you could knit, I think that's what the Lento is, like a really loose gauge raglan, but of course I don't know if it's a free or paid for pattern, but I figured why would I use a pattern when I can just make up a raglan real quick on my own and make it fit me. And I really, like I said, for a second there I was panicked, but the neck fits really good. I like the way the sleeves are. It's like there are lots of room and then come down, not tight, but it's kind of hard to see. Not tight, but oh my gosh, here, I'll put it in front of my face. See how it comes like this? Like I added like maybe 2 decreases, 3 decreases throughout the sleeve, and then at the end, I think there's only 1 decrease actually, or 2, to get it down to the multiple of 4 for the 2x2 rib. But I actually just went down significantly in needle size. I want to say I knit the cuffs on a 4 or 3.5 millimeter. Like the cuffs are significantly tighter gauge than the body, which of course I wanted that, so it's a nice clean finish. So I did that with both the neck, hem, and cuffs. I knit them at a much tighter gauge, which I think gives it a very nice finished look. The next finished thing I have is another long standing whip. I cast this on in October. I did set it aside on purpose for a good amount of time and then picked it up recently. But I knit a nightshirt out of Lion brand Truboo, which is 100% bamboo. Yes, it is absolutely lovely. Incredibly drapey, smooth, soft. Oh, it's silky. I think, honestly, much smoother and softer than silk. If I'm being honest, I like it better than silk. I think it is fabulous. It is also incredibly strong like silk. But anyways, I did not use a pattern. I'm having to tell myself this year, like, you don't need to apologize for making patterns that, like, making garments that don't follow patterns. And I don't need to offer patterns for those. I can just make them up. Now, if you have questions about anything that I knit up on my own, I can kind of maybe guide you through it. I have thought about putting out a video about like how to sort of self-draft, but that's like, that would be a lot of work. So I'd need to know a lot of people are interested in that before I dive into trying to unpack the math and things for that. But I like drafting out my own patterns because I know I'm going to get a fit that fits me. And I usually modify most patterns that I knit anyhow because I like things specifically for me. So I have another pattern that I just self-drafted. This one didn't turn out 100% how I was picturing, but it's also because I've only ever knit one other thing out of 100% bamboo. I'm not very familiar with the fiber itself and how it behaves once it's in the final garment, as far as like how much it stretches, how it moves, and that sort of thing. And I mean, a swatch can only tell you so much, plus it's a very heavy fiber. A little 4x4 square is only going to tell me so much, and I'm sorry I'm not swatching bigger than that. And to be honest, most of the time I don't swatch because my gauge changes. Always. It never fails. It doesn't matter what I do. When I make a small swatch, it's always going to be way tighter than when I'm in this, and even then sometimes I get tighter in the garment. I don't know. My gauge changes too much for gauge swatching. But this fits good. I ran out of yarn though. I was not able to do the I-cord edging around the neckline, which I am bummed about. Now, I could get more of this yarn, but I'm not buying an entire ball of yarn for an I-cord edge. So it is just a nightshirt, so it can not have that, because it's not like I need it to look all like beautiful and perfect, because again, I'm sleeping in it, so it doesn't really matter. It is very cropped too. I probably would have preferred it maybe an inch longer. Like, I don't mind it being cropped because again, it's a nightshirt, but I probably would have liked it an inch longer, but I stopped on the length because I was like, I think I'm gonna run out of yarn, and I still need to do sleeves. And of course the sleeves are like teeny weeny because they're short sleeves. And I also did some short rows for the sleeves. Instead of like just going round and round, I actually went around once and then did some short rows to make a little cap. And then I went around 1 or 2 more times. I can't remember. I think I just went around 1 more time to like complete those short rows. And then I did like 2 rows of twisted rib and then bound off. And I had like maybe about this much. No, I think it was about double that yarn left. So I was pretty spot on with at least getting the sleeves done, but yeah, nowhere near enough for an I-cord edging, but I'm okay with that. I do think I would have liked hairless ease. I have realized the bamboo, though heavy and it likes to go this way, it does have quite a bit of stretch this way, which I wouldn't have really thought because the yarn itself doesn't have like any stretch. So I don't know if it's just the way I knit or what have you, but yeah, it is a lot wider than I had initially thought it was going to be based off of like how I was like measuring my gauge and like, okay, at this point I think I want this many more increases to get to this amount for my bust, etc. And yeah, I think I am probably like 2 increases too big. And I think if I had done 2 less increases, I probably could have done my I-cord, but you know. And look at this. I tried it on, you know, for this little video. And then when I went to take it off, I snagged a stitch. I have to go back and fix this snag stitch. See how the stitches are all tight over there? And then I've got this loop. Ugh. So annoying. I'm wearing a stupid, very annoying bra that has a little hook on it so you can like attach them together. It's a terrible bra. I hate it very much, but I needed to wear it for this and then realized as I was taking it off, I'm like, oh no, I'm stuck. So I'm like sitting there fiddling behind my back trying to get the stupid hook off of my garment. So now I have to fix a stitch. It's very annoying, but it is what it is. So nightshirt, I'm very happy with it. I could be happier with it if I had just done 2 less increases. It was a hair longer and had an I-cord. But otherwise, I think it's great. I've already worn it several times. It is very, very comfy. I highly recommend knitting yourself a bamboo nightshirt. It is delightful. And I run very, very hot at night. So having this like smooth, breathable material is really great. Obviously you could use any sort of pattern like with this type of yarn. Just keep in mind that it's going to behave differently from your wools. But I was thinking like there's the cumulus like blouse that I think you could, I think it might be a cumulus shirt or something like that, but something v-neck like that. There's the Kroy has the Tulsa tee. There's Amy Shure that has the slightly sassy V, which I think has a t-shirt option. I don't know what any of these gauges are on any of these, or if they'll work with like the Truboo itself, but there, I am sure, other bamboo options, or doing like a bamboo wool blend maybe. But I really like the way it feels and how it wears. It's really easy. Washer dryer. I don't even have to think about it. And yeah, I love it very, very much. Okay, let's keep moving because I have 2 more finished objects. So I knit month before. My time is a blur at the moment. I test knit the North Shore beanie for Ozetta, and I knit a very nice tweedy version. I love it. I wore it and I was like, I want more of these. So I've made 2 more with modifications because I can't help myself. The other one I knit to pattern. And I've noticed one like little, it's not an oopsie and it's not really a mistake, but I noticed a gauge discrepancy in the pattern. Like obviously there's gauge on stitch gauge, but I think it was off row gauge, and it normally wouldn't matter because it's like, okay, knit to this length and gives you that in inches. So I knit the height of the hat to that measurement. However, my row gauge is off, but it didn't matter because I was knitting to the set amount of inches they had in the pattern. However, that did not translate to my decrease rate for the top of the hat. So because she has more like, or less rows, hers is more like this, or mine is like whoop, because yeah, less rows in that set amount of space. So yeah, it fits fine, but it could have been a little taller. So I kept that in mind while knitting up the next 2. So this first one, I made 2 modifications. One was I knit the hat portion a little taller, like the plain stockinette version, so that way my decreases wouldn't be so close to my head. And I did 2x2 single fold. So here is my North Shore beanie, heavily modified. I knit this one out of Drops Alpaca, which is 100% wool. It is very nice. I have, again, added just a little bit of length to the stockinette portion since my rows here are just really quite dense. But that's okay because it worked out beautifully. So yeah, and I didn't have enough of this yarn to do the double fold stockinette. And so I was only going to be able to do 1 fold with the amount of yarn I had, which was okay. I just decided to do a 2x2 rib, and I think it looks great. So yeah, there's that one. Then I knit a red one. Now, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in the past. I'm not a red person, and I'm not a purple person. I hate purple. Purple is a hate. Like, I don't like purple at all. Almost in any capacity. This is after I just showed you a purple color. I didn't even realize I have knit with my 2 least favorite colors. I hate purple and I usually don't like red, but it's very lavendery and it's very pale, so it's not super obvious. It's like an icy purpley blue. That's what we'll say. But this is no denying what it is. It is red. It is very red, and it's actually, ooh, the lighting went a little weird, so it's definitely washing me out. So that's normally why I wouldn't wear a red, because I am fairly pale and blue toned. Like, I have a blue undertone to my skin, so red is not usually my color. But everybody in the test group and Ozetta, well, Haley of Ozetta, knit a red one. And I'm not normally everybody's doing it, so I have to do it too type person. Normally it's like, oh, everybody's doing that, that's really nice. But there was something inside of me saying, I really want a red hat. I really want a red hat. So the red yarn possessed me, and I knit a red hat. The only modification I made was making the stockinette portion a little longer so it fit the height of my head better. I did not mention, but I knit the adult small for all 3 of my hats. I have a fairly small head, so yeah, a couple of hats. How about that? They have been my comfort knit because, yeah, life has not been the easiest recently, and I've just been craving small projects. So that's what I did. I knit a couple of hats, and I'm very happy with them. And I've actually worn them quite a bit too, which is great. Let's go ahead and get into all the things I've been working on. Now, I don't have any garments on my needles. I still have caked up here the yarn for my sibling sweater, my size. Isn't it so cute? Yes, it is. And it really wants to be knit, but I currently don't have any desire to knit on garments for some reason. And that's okay. I'm working on all of the accessories and enjoying it very much. Okay, so I will show you my sock first. I have finished one sock. It is, whoa, the lighting is terrible. Where did that sunshine go? Oh, hey, look. Sunshine shining back there, but up here it's very cloudy. Here is my finished sock. So these were supposed to be for Valentine's. I've kind of had these in my head. This yarn is from Bella Filato Studio Yarns. I don't remember. It'll be down below. But this is a colorway from like her Nordic Christmas collection from 2 Christmases ago. And it's like this lovely sparkly base. I don't know if you can see the sparkles or not. It's very bright. I mean, it's a light colorway, so. But it is not very Christmassy to me. But it just kind of said Valentine's Day. So I knit these up, but I did not get them finished. I actually started them at the beginning, not quite the beginning, a little after the beginning of February when my mom was in the hospital. So these were like, I took with me when she was in the hospital and I sat with her. So I had this in my purse. So I finished this one up, and then once she got back home, I didn't do quite as much knitting, so I did not get them finished before Valentine's Day, but that's okay. I'll have them for next Valentine's Day. But I have gotten to the foot portion of the second sock, and my husband and I have started our evening walks again. We took a pause because it's dark out, and we started walking again because of daylight savings time here in the United States. So I started knitting while walking again. So yesterday while on our walk, I knit that amount, which is pretty good. We ended up taking a little bit too long of a walk probably for our first walk back. Both of us were really feeling it. And it was really cold. Like, it's not cold here anymore. Like, we're starting to warm up. But I think it was still in the like mid to high 40s. It may have been low 50s, but there was a wind and it was making it feel like it was in the low 40s. It was pretty cold. So I'm back to knitting while walking, which I'm very happy about. So I might start being able to get back to making more socks because they're literally like the perfect size project for walking. But also I should mention, I'm not following a pattern. I am messing around with my sock needles and gauge. So last year I discovered I just need to knit bigger socks because I'm a very tight knitter, especially with small circumferences. So I ended up bumping up my sock to a 72 stitch. And I normally knit on a 2.25 millimeter needle. But I've noticed my gauge is just so crazy dense, which is not bad, but I had a thought of maybe switching up my needles. So these socks were knit using a 2.5 millimeter needle with a 64 stitch count. So this one seems to fit pretty good, but we'll see how they wear and how I like the fit of them, and also how washing goes, because I am not precious with my socks. They go through the washer and the dryer. And they hold up great. But I do notice after that first wash that they the stitches tighten up a bit. Not like an insane amount, because usually they're super washed with nylon so they can handle it, but they do, I feel like, belt just a teeny bit and the stitches get real dense. So I'm wondering if by loosening up my gauge a bit, when they cinch up a bit, if that will make them so they're not so tight, because when I take them out, they're tight. So we will see how this goes, and there's a good amount of ease, and like I said, it fits my foot, but we'll see after washing and drying, because I am not precious about it, and no, I will not be hand washing my socks, no matter how many of you tell me I should be hand washing my socks. It's not going to happen. I don't have time or patience for that. And I know lots of other knitters do it too, so it's not a big deal. I just need to adjust my sock knitting accordingly. That's what I have to do. And we'll see how this pair works out. If it doesn't, I'm not worried about it because they're Valentine sock and I'll probably like wear them in the month of February leading up to it because they're not really my colors. But yeah, I'm gonna end up having a lot of leftover yarn, so I'll probably de-stash that because they're not really my colors. But I did buy it, so that's on me. But moving on, I have, if you recall, in fall, I wanted to work on some gloves. So I have here my gloves that I had stopped at the point where they needed fingers. Then I sat and I've been thinking about it for months now with them sitting here at the point needing fingers. Like, I've come to the conclusion my issue is the yarn is just too big for fingers. I think if I want to make a pair of gloves with full fingers, I need to make it out of fingering weight yarn. The DK is just too heavy and makes too chunky a finger for my liking. Because I tried on the full glove I had finished and it has fit issues, but then when I was like feeling the fingers, I didn't like the amount of fabric that was there. So I've decided I'm just going to do fingerless gloves and do a ribbed top. So here I am. I've finally gotten back to knitting them and I'm just going to do a folded rib. I'm going to come up to probably like here and then do a fold and have them pull back down. So yeah, it's not the end of the world. I am okay with having fingerless gloves. I wear my other fingerless gloves in the winter quite a bit, even over like other gloves. So yeah, I just was feeling the need to wrap up some of these projects that are just sitting, hence the finishing this, finishing the nightshirt. I want to finish these. I just want all new, fresh, shiny things in life. Speaking of fresh and shiny, I have some fresh and shiny new projects to share with you. Alrighty, this next project I have to share with you is not ad sponsored. It's not, I don't know how to explain this. You know how people sample knit things for yarn dyers? Like they will get yarn and then they'll be paid or like paid money or paid via yarn to knit the sample and then they send the sample off to the yarn dyer, etc. Well, Woolberry Fiber Co. is doing preview knitters. So the preview knitters get the yarn and then they knit a project for themselves, take photos of the item for the yarn dyer, aka Woolberry. So I applied to be a preview maker and was selected for the project I had suggested for the certain yarn. So I was sent yarn for free, but not really, from Woolberry. It was free, like I didn't pay for it, but I am working for Woolberry Fiber Co. because I'm knitting a project to take photos of to promote their product. It's not like influencer thing where I got this yarn so I can talk about it and share it with you. No, I was sent the yarn to take photos for them to use. Like it's for them. Like it's a, you know what I'm trying to say? Get what I'm throwing out there. So I'm preview knitting. I got the yarn for free, but not really. I'm working for it. But I get the finished object at the end. I don't know. Trying to be like as open and honest about it as possible, but like I'm confusing myself and probably confusing you guys. I got it for free, but I'm working for it. Get it? Okay, great. Here's the color. This is Unsociable and Taciturn. This is from Woolberry's Pride and Prejudice collection. This is on berry worsted, which is 100% superwash merino wool. Look at that color. Isn't it fabulous? It is so rich and beautiful. I really love this. And what am I making? I am making the Autumn Tales shawl by Ozetta. It has a beautiful detail of like this braid all along the edge. I'll of course have the photo on the screen so you can actually see what I'm talking about. And I love it. Of course, that gets put on at the very end. So right now it just looks kind of plain and garter stitchy, which it is. It's plain and garter stitchy, which is honestly what my brain has needed recently. Now, here it is. I will try to put it all on screen. There's one end and here's the other. Now, I have started the decreases last night and I should be able to finish the scarf today. I like this one because it's not one of those that comes to a point. I don't like scarves and shawls that come to points. I like them to have a nice straight edge. I mean, coming down to like a point, like at the ends, that's fine. But like at the back or in the front, like I don't want there to be like an arrow, basically. It may work for other people, but I don't like it for me. So I love that this one already has a nice flat edge built in. Now, in true Sarah fashion, I have made a couple of modifications. Now, it's a garter scarf, and you're probably like, what on earth could you have possibly have modified on this? Well, let me tell you, I had decided to not make it quite so wide. This is supposed to be, I think, 10 stitches wider, but I liked the width of this because I'll probably be wearing it more as a scarf than a shawl, so I didn't want so much width for it. Like, this will be really nice on my neck without being too bulky, so I shortened the width of it, and then the amount of length it said to knit from this point all the way to the point where you're supposed to start decreasing, I increased that. I added a little bit of length to it. I want to say about 3 inches, if I'm not mistaken. I will let you know the exact measurements and stuff when I'm actually done with it, and I will attempt to remember to measure before and after I block it. I always think I'm going to do that. Then I never do. I did sort of ish with this. Again, not the gauge. I kind of like held it up and was like, oh, it's about this wide. And then it blocked out like a hair wider. So that's how technical I was with this. But I'll try to be a little more technical with this one. But no guarantees, because I get excited about blocking and then I block and then I was like, oh, I was going to measure that. That's how it goes. But I'm hoping I can finish this tonight, at least the knitting portion of it. All right, I have one project left, and then I do have some acquired yarn, which is partly what I'm showing you now in this project. I, spur of the moment, without really thinking about it, cast on a blanket, a crocheted blanket. Now, I have a blanket going, a knit blanket. Those like lovely little squares and strips. I haven't touched that one, so there's no point in showing it to you. I have a blanket going. Why on earth would I cast on another one? I don't know, but I decided to do that. So here we are. I've started a blanket and I've crocheted quite a good amount. Here we are. It's just a little throw. It's nothing enormous. It's just supposed to be like a little lap one. But yeah, I bought from Joann, since, you know, they're going out of business, I wanted to knit or crochet some pillow covers. So I bought some yarn for that. Now, I bought these two for pillow covers. This is the Big Twist. It's just an acrylic yarn. I think it's their brand, like 99% positive it's their brand. This is the color Caramel. This is the color Toffee. Those ones I bought for pillows, and then I bought, oops, I'm pulling out stitches, oops. Then I bought these two for like a hat or something along those lines. I was kind of picturing something checkered. But this one is cream, and this one is cerulean blue. Don't those look nice together? They're so very nice. I really love them. I really like this blue. It's very nice. But anyways, that's kind of what I had in my head. But then I decided to cast on a blanket. I realized though, in my head I was thinking this, like having all white with then those colors in like this. Like I'd have 3 rows of one color and then 3 rows of another color and then kind of rotating through those colors. Then I realized really quickly, I don't have enough of that cream to do an entire blanket with that as a main color. And I went back on Joann's site and was like, oh, I'll just buy like another ball or 2. And then I went on and they're not selling online anymore, at least not the yarn. So I was like, oh, great. And it said like amounts may vary via location. So I put in my location, which is a good amount away. We don't live close to a Joann. It's about 40 minutes away from me. So it's a bit of a drive to go to a Joann. So I was like, okay, well, let's see if they have any at my location. Well, they're not updating which locations have what either, apparently. I don't know if that's just for my area or what. And I was like, I don't feel like driving 40 minutes to get a yarn that may not even be there. So I decided instead I would have extra fun with it and just like have all these other colors blending and blocking and doing their thing. So I have not planned this out. I'm just going for it, guys. There's no plan. I'm just, I think like with each section, I'm kind of thinking ahead to the next one. Okay, which colors do I want to do next? So like after this, inside of this caramel color, I'm thinking I'm going to do the dashes as the blue color, and then next would be blue. And then so inside of the blue, I'm thinking maybe doing this cinnamony toffee color. And then I'm like, okay, then what will I do after that? So that's my planning that I'm doing. And then I did also have a little bit of this mustard. I used up some leftover Lion Brand Woolly scraps that I had. I wish I had more because I really like that mustard in there, but I think that will be the only portion of mustard because I finished that section up and I have a little tiny ball left. So yeah, I might go through my scraps though and see what other acrylic yarns I have and maybe just throw them in here. Though I honestly recently went through and destashed a bunch of it and my sister-in-law took some. So yeah, I'm not sure I will have any other colors besides these ones. And like I said, it's just gonna be a small lap throw. So it may not be really big, but that's okay. I'm picturing something I can throw on the floor for babies or whatever. Keep it in my family room, so I have a little baby blanket in there maybe. I don't know. Like I said, no plan. I just cast it on because crochet is a comfort like make for me. I don't know why, but anytime I have any sort of like big stress in my life, I crave crochet. And I don't crochet a lot, just mainly because it hurts my hands, which I have noticed my hands have not been the happiest with me crocheting, but I don't care. I want to crochet and it's making me happy. So I've got a blanket that is moving along. In case I'm not really following a pattern, again, I'm winging it, but I am using the Crochet Moss stitch. It's the one where you single crochet and then you chain one and then you single crochet, chain one, and then on the next row you single crochet into that chained stitch, like through that like gap, and then you single crochet, chain one, single crochet, etc. So whatever that stitch is, I'm pretty sure it's a moss stitch. If you know and I'm incorrect, put it down in the comments. Yeah, so those are all my projects. I feel like I've been talking forever, but it's also been a while, so bear with. I have some new yarn. One of those being that Joann yarn that I got. I also bought, I don't have it out, it's in a bag in my bedroom where my husband is working, so I won't be going in there to get it. But I bought Lion Brand Woolies DK, which I did not know was a thing. Did you guys know that was a thing? I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently there's a Lion Brand Woolies that's DK weight. So I don't know if it's a new thing maybe, and I've just now discovered it or what have you, but Joann had that, and of course it was on sale. and they had a very lovely navy blue. So I bought a sweater quantities of that. It's actually very similar to this. So I bought a sweater quantity of that, I think about 6 balls-ish. I'm pretty sure I bought 6 balls, which I'm not sure is going to be a sweater's quantity, but we'll make it a sweater's quantity. Anyhow, I put in an order to Wool Warehouse. I had a few things I wanted to get. I showed you one of the things I got. I knit a hat out of this bright red yarn. This is Drops. Oh, I didn't tell you what the yarn was for that one. Well, that red hat I showed you, remember that? The one I didn't tell you what the yarn was? It's Drops Daisy in this fabulous red color, which is color 20. Look at how friggin' bright it is. Oh, it's showing up much better now with the sun poking out of the clouds. It is very, very red, and it's got a little like orangey undertone. Not a ton, but I bought too much. Obviously, I knit a hat and then had leftovers of it was like a ball and a half. So I still have another ball and a half left, which I have plans for. I'm thinking I'm going to do a checkered hat or fingerless mittens or something like that with this, and then this. Oh yeah. Which I also bought a couple balls of this Drops Daisy in the color 12 for, wait for it, a hat. Okay, and guess what? Another hat. I bought some white yarn for a hat, but not just a white hat. I actually used to have a hat that was black and white, like strands held together, and I loved that hat, but the hat died. And so I'm going to make myself a black and white hat. So I'll just hold a strand of this white, a strand of this black, and make myself a marled black and white hat to replace the one that I had years ago that died. Like I wore that was my primary hat. I wore it in winter. Like I felt like it looked good on me and it was comfy, and it was just acrylic. Where this is, I could tell you what it is. It's Drops Flora. And the color 2. It's very nice. It is an alpaca, right? Hold on. I'm pretty sure it's alpaca, and it will tell me on the ball band if I look for 1 second. Yeah, it is 65% wool and 35% alpaca. So I got 2 balls of that. Will I need 2 balls? Probably not. But I always get nervous about having enough, and I don't want to have to order and do shipping again. I'd rather have a little extra than not enough, as I'm finding out. Though honestly, I didn't buy it for a blanket, so it's fair enough that I don't have enough of this. It was supposed to be for hat accessories and things. So anyways, I also bought some yarn for a gift. So I don't think she watches, but just in case you do, my sister-in-law, Bailey, if you happen to watch, stop watching. Thank you. Okay, bye. I bought some yarn to make a baby blanket because my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, are expecting their first child, and I'm so very excited. I bought this yarn before they knew the gender, but I went with colors that were kind of gender neutral and fit like colors I know she likes. Her favorite color is green, which I love too, of course. So I bought greens and blues for this blanket, which I know some people are really like, that's more boys, but no, they're very nice and gender neutrally. Here they are. This one on this end, my left, it's falling. The one that's falling, the one that's gone now. That is going to be the main color, and then I'm going to be striping these in, not specifically in this order, I don't think. I don't know, I haven't played around with order yet. I don't know, maybe something like that, or I don't know, like that, or I don't know, maybe putting the darker ones together. I don't know, guys. I haven't played around with it. Oops, no, I wanted that one there. Well, they're gone now. Those are the colors I'm thinking. I don't know what order yet, but anyway, last year I knit this fabulous rainbow blanket for my sister for her rainbow baby, and I loved the striping sequence in it, and I loved the crocheted border on it. So my idea was, when I bought the yarns, I was like, okay, well, if it's a boy, I will make it a plain border. Like I'll just maybe single crochet or do something like that around the edge. And then if it's a girl, I'll do a pretty little frilly one. So that's my plan, is I'm going to do a pretty little frilled border like the rainbow one I did for my other niece. So very excited about that. I haven't started yet, but I have until, oh, she's due in the end of June. So I have plenty of time because we're in March. All right, so that is it for yarny things. So we share just a little bit of life stuff. Now, I don't share a ton of personal life things just because I'm a more private person. It's just my personality. And also, I feel like once you start sharing things on the internet, people feel entitled to know more and more. And sorry, that freaks me out. But I have shared in the past a little bit about my mom, just because I feel like something like that is always good to share, to have like encouragement and prayer for, and like so people can be thinking of somebody when they're going through something tough. So yeah, I'll just give a teeny weeny update about that, because obviously there's a lot that's encompassed this, but it's a lot of unfun stuff, and I don't feel like sharing that with the internet. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still processing myself. So yeah, but about a month ago, my mom ended up in the hospital for severe pain. Her doctor took a look at her on the day we were supposed to go in for her treatment and was like, no, I'm sorry, like, you are in too much pain. I can't treat you. Like, we need to get you help. So we went to the hospital. She stayed there for about 5 days, and then we had set up hospice, so when she got back, we could have people help us to maintain that pain at home. And then from there, it was about just under 2 weeks, and then she ended up passing away. And of course, like I said, there's a lot more encompassing this, but I don't feel like sharing all that. But there was a lot of really late nights and taking care of her and making sure she was as comfortable as possible. So thank you to all of you who kind of followed along a bit on Instagram and sent love and prayers. And just know, if you comment down below, I'm reading the comments, but I'm currently in a mental state where I'm not responding to every single comment. And if you ask me a question about a garment or fibery thing, I'll try my best to respond, but I've just been like comments and emails and all the things I kind of just like stare at, and I'm like, that's so nice. And I just, for some reason, there's just not enough brain space to actually reply. So yeah, I really love comments and being able to read them, but just know I may not respond like I normally try to because I don't have the brain space. So yeah, that's unfortunately what my life has just been lately. There hasn't been a whole lot else. It's just been my mom and her health, and then dealing with the death, and after, and finding a new normal. So other life things, like I said, not a lot, because that's been my life, but I will say let's see, I haven't read anything or listened to anything. Lots of music. Music has been my best friend. But we've started watching the Wheel of Time series on Amazon. Now, we've already watched season 1 and 2 before, but season 3 is coming out tonight, the night I'm recording. And so we've been rewatching season 1 and 2 because I don't remember what happens, because they have drastically changed them from what the books are. So we're doing a rewatch. Because I told him, I was like, I don't know what happens in the show. I can tell you what happens in the books, but they changed it so much. I don't remember. And I'm watching it again. I'm like, this is hot garbage. Grant you, it's not... I have a hard time separating the fact that it's... like, I've read the books, and then I've watched the show, and they're nothing alike. So it infuriates me. Some of the changes they've made to some of the characters, and how they've changed, like, the world itself, which I think is the biggest part of the Wheel of Time, is the world. It's in. Like, I feel like the world itself and the like cultures and stuff are characters in and of themselves, and they've changed some of that, and it makes me annoyed. And some of the stuff is like that annoys me is like characters' relationships, and like one of the world things is like one of these 5 people could be the dragon. It's like girls can't. No, that like literally breaks the magic system and the world. The women are kick butt on their own. We don't need to add them to that. Like, this is no. Like, no. Anyways, this is not a full-blown book show review channel, so I'll try to keep this brief, but we're going to start the season 3. Trying really hard to not watch any videos on it because I want to go into it fresh and judge it very harshly on my own. Not gonna lie, I kind of hate watch it. That's it. I kind of hate watch it because I don't like it. But I will say the one thing the show has got going for it that I really appreciate is that it got my husband to read the books. That's it. That's the thing it's got going for it. And okay, I do like some of the actors. The actress who plays Moraine, I love. The actress who plays Lan, I love. The actress who plays Nynaeve, I love. Rand, we'll see. We'll see. I'm still undecided on him because they haven't given him any screen time. He's the frickin' main character, right? Like, he's what I picture as the guy. And it's not enough screen time. Anyways, okay. I'm done with that. Yeah, the rest of life. I'm finally cooking again a little bit. Not a lot. Just a tiny bit. You know how at the beginning of the year I was like, I want to cook and make more things at home. That's hilarious. We've been living off of freezer meals that people have been bringing, and just random stuff. But hey, we're surviving, so it's all good. But I've started cooking again, which is making me very happy. I also think I'm going to bake, probably tomorrow, some banana bread, because I've got some bananas that are starting to go, which I'm really happy about. It's really hard in our house to get old bananas to make banana bread, because my kids eat the bananas so quickly that then I don't ever get bad bananas to make banana bread with. Somebody was telling me about like this trick to like wrap the top of them so the bananas stay fresher longer, and I was like, oh, they don't last in my house. And they're like, well, no, that's the point of it, so the bananas last longer. I was like, no, you're not understanding. Like, bananas don't last that long. Like, they're gone before they're even able to go bad. Like, I have to, if I want banana bread, I have to set bananas aside and say, don't eat those. So yeah, they just don't last long enough in my house to go bad for me to do tips and tricks. Like, usually every time I go into town, I have to stop at the store to buy bananas. Same with baby carrots. My kids are obsessed with baby carrots, which is okay. It's a healthy thing to snack on, but it's a little odd how much they love baby carrots. And in summer, my garden, they devour all the carrots. So the plan this year is to plant more carrots. Oh, that's a life thing. I've started planting my garden for this year, and I'm very excited about this. Anyhow, I feel like this video is very long, so I should wrap this up, because otherwise I'll start rambling about literally nothing, and it will go way longer. Again, my brain is just like fried, so collecting thoughts and making them like flow very nicely is not a thing anymore. For a good reason. So anyways, I'm rambling. See? Okay. Thank you for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, brava, you are amazing. Thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end and you are not subscribed, there's this really cool button down there that you could hit, and then you can watch all my future videos, which hopefully I'll be back to it and have some fun new videos coming out in the near-ish future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye.